potential mass wasting problem. Okay. Hi, Ian. Hi, Linda. Brad. How we doing?
Fashion.
Hello.
Long period of
Sound check.
damage
Sound check. Perfect. Thank you. We'll be starting shortly.
and slight impact.
How you doing, Brad? Can you hear me okay? Yeah? You I was telling everybody what a wonderful day we had yesterday.
Oh, it was fun.
Talking about it. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Ian had a ball.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. It was good to see him. We hadn't seen him in a long time. How was his hockey game? Didn't he have a hockey game?
Yeah, he won.
Oh, good. Good. All right. Good. It was good to see him.
He goes from playing music to playing hard.
Yeah. Yeah. Is Linda with you tonight, or do we have your canine friend there with us tonight?
Coming, but I got Honey here.
I'm here.
Okay.
Around.
I got a canine friend too.
Oh, you do, Ian?
Yep, Benji.
Now I get doggy pictures. Oh. Is that a corgi?
That's my sister's dog. Yes, that's my sister's dog.
Oh, he's cutie pie.
Yeah, he's a bad one.
Yeah, he's got a
You
cord.
don't pet him, he'll bite you.
Oh,
What do you-
I'd catch it. We're still off mute.
Oh,
All right.
is it on mute or not?
It's not.
I couldn't, I actually couldn't make it out. Yeah. Okay, we're waiting on
Have you muted it?
Robbie, guys. He should be here any minute now.
Tell Ian we have a corgi here, but he's 16 years old.
Okay,
College telecourse, video cassettes, off air.
my sister's got a good one. His name is Augie.
Hi, Lisa. Hi, Ian. Hi, Linda and Brad.
Hey, Rainey, welcome. How you feeling?
Feeling
Hi,
good.
Rainey.
It was really good to see you yesterday, Rainey. Glad you're here tonight.
Yeah, it was good being up there making noise yesterday.
Yeah, it was.
I've still got
Okay.
I've still got a full stomach from yesterday too, and a full refrigerator. I brought home a lot of stuff.
A lot of food. Yes, a lot of food from yesterday. It was really good. Okay, Robbie is in the house. He's going to get set up here and we'll get started in just a second. Okay, welcome, Lisa. Welcome.
Hi, thank you. It's good to see you all.
Hey, welcome, Douglas. Good to have you here tonight.
Oh, excuse me, I'll learn how to work this one of these years. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our third of 4 classes in the Discovering Buddhism module, Developing Bodhichitta. Both the people here in the room and the group online. So we'll begin with our prayers in the Gold Prayer Book on page 34. If you can open that, so I'll pull that up online, I think. And we're going to start with a little bit different prayer tonight, because tonight is Lisa's birthday, our class coordinator. So we're going to sing her happy birthday. 1 and a 1 and a 2. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Lisa. Happy birthday to you. Very traditional Tibetan prayer. Okay. And so we'll begin with on page 34, taking refuge and generating bodhicitta, which is really what this whole module is about. We'll read that together 3 times in English. And then we'll read the 4 immeasurables together in English. And then we'll do our first definition of the evening. Okay. It's our first meditation, excuse me, not definitions. Our first meditation. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By my practice of giving and other perfections, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By my practice of giving and other perfections, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By my practice of giving and other perfections, become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. May all sentient beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all sentient beings be inseparable from the happiness that is free from suffering. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from attachment for friends and hatred for enemies. Okay, so we'll begin our first meditation session. We always start by checking our posture. If we're sitting on the floor, we're towards the front of the cushion. If we're sitting in a chair, we're a little bit to the front of the chair also. We're not leaning back. Our back is a little bit straighter than we normally sit. Our head may be just a couple degrees in front of the vertical, but not tilted to one side or the other. Our eyes either just slightly open, so a little bit of light comes in, or very lightly closed. Our mouth lightly closed, with our tongue on the hard palate behind our upper teeth. Our shoulders down and a little bit back, so our chest is open. And it said this opens the energy channels that flow through our body in front of the spinal column. Our upper arms are away from our torso. And our hands are cupped, right hand on left, with thumbs touching slightly below the level of our navel. Our legs are in a position that we find comfortable, either crossed or whatever, as if we're sitting on the cushion. Our feet on the floor if we're sitting in a chair. So just examine your posture. Address any sources of tension or discomfort now, so they don't become a recurring theme during the meditation. The point of the posture is not for it to be difficult or uncomfortable, but really to be stable, really grounded and self-maintaining, so that once it's established, we really don't have to pay a lot of attention to it. And we begin our meditation by taking 3 deep breaths from the abdomen, the stomach expanding on the in-breath and contracting on the out-breath. Just do that slowly 3 times. And now we allow our breathing to return to its normal pattern. And we're going to do a simple concentration meditation, placing our consciousness, our awareness, on the physical sensation of the breath moving in and out through the openings of our nose. Just a slightly cool tactile sensation of moving air. Nothing more, nothing less than that. We're not describing it. We're not visualizing it. Just direct experience. Mind on the breath. And when our mind wanders off to another object, as it inevitably will, we set that aside and come back to the breath. over and over and over again. And we can end our meditation with a brief dedication. We acknowledge that we've done something for the last few minutes that has made a positive imprint on our mind stream. We're a little bit different than when we began the meditation. And we think, may that positive energy not be lost, but may it ripen in the future in a way that benefits all sentient beings. And you may relax your concentration. Okay, so this class is developing bodhicitta, the wish, the aspiration to become enlightened, not just for one's own sake, but for the benefit of all sentient beings. It's the manifestation of the compassion wing of enlightenment, a necessary component of enlightenment, along with the wisdom wing, which is the ability to see reality directly. So those are two predecessors to enlightenment, the state of being completely awakened. And the Buddha gave us a lot of meditations on compassion. Last week, or a lot of meditations on bodhicitta and how to develop it. Last week, we talked about the 7 cause and 1 effect series of meditations, which is a series of analytic meditations that build on one another. It's based on built on a base of what we refer to as equanimity, which is developing the quality of feeling equally connected to all living beings, not clinging to some, pushing others away, and feeling indifferent to the vast majority, but feeling equally connected to all beings and seeing them all as equally worthy and having an equal potential to become Buddhas in and of itself. So we build a base of equanimity, and on that we go through this series of meditations, the 7 cause and 1 effect. Can anybody tell me what the first meditation in that series is? Anybody want to take a stab at it? Yeah, seeing all beings as having been your mother, of having been in that close a relationship with every living being at some point. This is based, of course, on a conviction of countless previous lifetimes that a lot of us may not have, but we're talking about ideally, we accept that and we realize that that means we've been in that close relationship. It doesn't mean that everyone has been our mother of this lifetime with her personalities and her flaws and her strong points, but it means that we have been that connected to everyone. Second point being, anyone want to take a stab? Remembering how kind the mother is to her offspring. Again, maybe our mother in this lifetime was not that kind to us in some ways, but there was some kindness there, and we can look at other examples. So not only are we connected to everyone in that way, but we have benefited from their kindness, okay? The third meditation is, if we remember the kindness, what comes up kind of automatically? The wish to repay that kindness, okay? A sense of gratitude, again, towards all living beings. And all of these meditations would qualify, in one of the early prayers, we use the word immeasurables, as immeasurably great, in that they include everyone. They are all inclusive. Nobody is left out when we do them perfectly. Of course, it's hard to think that way, but everyone we like, everyone we don't like, everyone we don't care about is included in this feeling of gratitude, that we just spontaneously feel incredibly grateful to every living being. Okay, next, what comes next? Anybody have the list? Yeah, the wish, yeah, a feeling of love, the wish that all these beings we have benefited from be happy, have happiness and its causes. And then the next meditation is a feeling of compassion, a wish that they be free of suffering and its causes. And this leads to what we sometimes refer to as the great wish, which means developing a sense of personal responsibility. I will take personal responsibility to do everything I can to relieve these people of suffering, to give them happiness. Okay? Rather grandiose, but not in a self-important kind of way, self-importance kind of way, but in the great wish. And then upon that is the realization that the best way to do that is to become enlightened myself, to repay the kindness of others, to give them happiness, to give them love. The best thing, the necessary thing to do is to become enlightened myself, to develop my mind completely so that it's free of all negativities, all obscurations, completely compassionate and completely wise. And that's the bodhicitta aspiration. Okay, so that's one way of developing it. It's a series of what we would call analytic meditations in which we take these topics, so to speak, think about them, analyze them, test them against our own experience, and then come to a conclusion or a feeling, a sense of, yes, I do feel that connected to others. I do want to repay their kindness. So what we're really doing is changing the way our mind thinks so that we start to think not in a very forced and kind of gritting our teeth and forcing it out, but that these ideas, these feelings just come up spontaneously as the way that we naturally think. And it's said that we can actually realize them there so that these qualities are in our mind continuously. So that's one method of developing bodhicitta. We talked about last week. Now we're going to go with another very well-known method of developing bodhicitta that you'll find in a lot of text. You'll find it in Shantideva's text on Guide to the Bodhisattva's Way of Life that a lot of people are familiar with, and other great texts and in the actual teachings of the Buddha. It's interesting. You know, you can be a Buddhist for years and years and you never actually read anything that's directly from the Buddha. It's always commentaries and interpretations and things because what he taught was not necessarily real accessible. It's all up here on the altar. If anybody reads Tibetan, you can take these down. But most of us, you know, with the sutras, we may know the Heart Sutra and a couple other ones, but most of them we don't really refer to that much. The second method that we're going to talk about tonight is called Tonglen. And that's one word. It's a Tibetan word. Tonglen, Tonglen. And it's translated in English commonly as giving and taking. But when we actually do the meditation, we do taking and giving traditionally. But Tong is giving, Len is taking, is my understanding. I don't speak Tibetan. Sometimes it's referred to as exchanging self with others. And this is a simpler meditation. Again, meditation being just thinking in that very concentrated way. And it's really more of a visualization meditation in that and when we talk about visualization, we're really just talking about imagining. Okay? So we visualize that we are taking the suffering of others. We are taking it from them and taking it upon ourselves, okay? So that this is compassion. We are freeing them from suffering. We take that suffering on, we give back happiness. So that's love. Compassion, freeing them of suffering, love, giving them happiness. Okay? That's the basic idea. And typically we'll visualize in front of us. Sometimes we start with ourselves. It's okay to do this meditation with yourself. You can visualize yourself in front of you. You can visualize somebody that you're close to, a member of your family, okay, a close friend, someone that you know very well. You can visualize someone you don't really like, someone you have problems with. You can visualize someone you don't know well, a clerk you see in the store, or somebody you walk by on the street, or you can visualize countless beings in front of you. There are all sorts of different ways to do this. And what we visualize is that their suffering of either one person or multiple persons takes the form of typically dark smoke, okay? Or it can sometimes, there are different ways of doing it. Sometimes it's a foul odor. Sometimes it's in the form of scorpions or unpleasant animals. Okay, but most typically it's form of dark smoke. That is their suffering. Okay, and what do we mean by suffering? Okay, it can be, just gross suffering, physical pain, not enough to eat, not enough money. But it can be more subtle forms of suffering, a difficult work situation, a problematic relationship. It can be just the suffering of life being unsatisfactory, or as Geshe Gelik says, life being full of complications, not being the way we want it. The suffering of just having a body and a mind that inevitably experience things that we don't want. Okay, so there are all sorts of suffering, from the very gross forms to the more subtle forms. Okay, so we say we're visualizing an individual in front of us. We imagine that all their sufferings come in the form of black smoke. And the more specific we can be, generally, the more powerful the meditation is. We inhale that smoke. We gladly, voluntarily, without resistance, inhale their suffering. Okay, so that it leaves them and we take it on. We can almost be joyful that we can do this. Their suffering takes the form of a bolt of lightning that travels from our head down inside our chest to the level of our heart. And we visualize that our heart, with all its good qualities that we possess to some degree or another, is encased in solid stone. And that stone is our self-centeredness and our self-cherishing. Okay? So we say in Buddhism that ultimately all our own problems come from our self-cherishing, our clinging to ourself, our making everything in some way or another about me, how it affects me, how I react to it, how I think of it, what my opinion is, what I want, our self-cherishing, our self-centeredness. The bolt of lightning strikes that rock and shatters it. In our qualities of love and compassion, excuse me, are in the form inside the rock in the form of beautiful golden light. And we breathe that light out and give happiness to the person in front of us. So we take their suffering in the form of dark smoke, turns into a bolt of lightning that shatters the self-centeredness around our heart, releasing beautiful golden light that we breathe out to the person that we're doing the meditation for. Okay? Taking and giving. Taking their suffering, giving happiness. Okay? And the happiness, we can imagine that it's whatever they may need. Okay? Whether it's food, whether it's physical health, whether it's money, whether it's a happy relationship, whether it's just some peace and quiet. We give back to them whatever they need. Okay? Taking in their suffering, giving back happiness. And that's the practice. We do it over and over again. So, a couple questions. Are we actually taking someone's suffering by doing this meditation? Are we actually taking away the suffering of others by doing this? I don't think we are, okay? Are we actually making them happiness by thinking this way? I don't think we are. What are we doing, actually?
Training your mind?
Exactly, yeah. We're developing a mind that is willing to do that. And it's certainly, it's said sometimes there's actual Tonglen and practicing Tonglen. Actual Tonglen would actually be doing something to really relieve someone's suffering if you can. Actually giving them something that would make them happy if you can. Practicing Tonglen is what we're doing sitting on the meditation cushion, where we're developing a mind that naturally thinks that way, that everyone we come into contact with, I am willing to take your suffering. I am willing to give you whatever you need to make you happy. It's said that we can give people material things, money, food, etc. Said we can actually give our body, okay, in terms of our labor or whatever is needed. And it's said the most valuable thing is we can actually give our merit, which means the positive qualities that we've developed in our mind stream. We can give these freely. Okay, so we're practicing thinking that way. So that becomes the natural way for our mind to think, and then the actions will follow upon that as we develop our other qualities. Most of the time, 9 times out of 10, we're in a situation where we say, I'd like to do something to help, but I have no idea what to do because we're not Buddhas. We do try and help and we make things worse. Okay, because we don't have the wisdom aspect. So we have to bring the compassion and the wisdom together. And that's what a Buddha does. But this is training our mind so that we'll be ready to do that. Any comments or questions? Or online?
Anyone online has a comment or question, just unmute and speak your mind.
Okay, so let's give it a little try. There are lots of this is a very popular practice. So a lot of people make this their main meditation practice. A lot of people do long retreats just on Tonglen practice.
That's one question.
Mm-hmm.
So practicing this, what is can you give a signpost, how do you know you're making progress?
Uh-huh. That's a good question. Yeah, I mean, I think you'll just be you'll notice it arising spontaneously in certain situations, not all the times. Like we talked a little bit about this week. One of the good things about this practice is something you can do on the spur of a moment. You don't have to be sitting on a meditation cushion and do all these preliminary practices and everything. I work as a doctor, so I'm going in and out of exam rooms. And if I can remember it, I can just do a couple seconds of this before going into the exam room. I'm going to take this person's suffering and give them back what they need. It doesn't always work out like that, and I don't remember it. But just walking down the street, you can just do Tonglen with everybody that walks by you. Just visualize, they might think, well, who's this person huffing and puffing over there? But taking in their suffering, giving back happiness. And I think you'll just notice it comes up spontaneously. You don't have to sit down and do a formal session. I think that would be the first thing you'd notice. Okay. Any other questions or comments? Okay, so let's do a little bit of Tonglen, a little bit of, yeah, huff and puff our way to bodhicitta. And it is done on the breath, okay? So sometimes people find they have to slow down their breath a little bit, or sometimes they have to maybe do a couple in breaths to get the first part of the visualization, and a couple out breaths to get the second part. But classically, it's done on the breath out, on the breath in, on the breath out. Okay. So we'll begin by checking our posture, establishing our posture. Take a couple deep breaths from the abdomen. Take a moment to set your motivation that we're doing this meditation to develop our mind and our qualities of wisdom and compassion so that we can be of benefit to all sentient beings. And just a little bit of concentration to focus our mind, awareness, consciousness on the breath as it moves in and out through our nostrils. Now that our mind is calm and focused, we'll begin our Tonglen meditation session. And we'll visualize in front of us, about a body length in front of us, life-size, real, three-dimensional, is someone we feel close to. May not be the person we're the closest to in the world, but someone we have good feelings towards. We'll start with them, make it a little bit easier. So establish that visualization. They're real, life-size, three-dimensional, directly in front of you. Probably about 6 to 8 feet in front of you, sitting on a chair or a cushion. Get a sense of that real person in front of you. And just bring to the mind the way that this person who we feel close to is suffering. They may have a physical illness. They may have lost someone they're close to. They may have financial problems. They may be aging and losing some of the abilities they previously had. They may be frustrated that something they're working on isn't working out. Anything from gross physical sufferings to difficulties or complications of life. And be very specific about what those sufferings are for this person. Really identify them and bring them to mind. Not in a condescending or superior sort of way, but a real closeness to them. And now imagine that suffering takes the form of dark smoke. Being emitted from their body. And each time we breathe in that dark smoke. Without resistance or aversion, but gladly. We take the dark smoke from them and breathe it in. Just do that for a couple breaths. And now visualize that each time you breathe in the dark smoke, as it enters your respiratory passages, it turns into brilliant lightning that shoots down within our chest to the level of our heart. Again, do that for a couple sessions. On the in-breath, the dark smoke coming in, the lightning shooting down. And we visualize each time the lightning shoots down, it strikes the rock of self-cherishing that encases our heart and completely shatters it. And all this is riding on the in-breath. And as the rock of self-cherishing is shattered, brilliant warm light is emitted from our heart. And as we exhale, this brilliant light travels up and out through our nostrils towards the person sitting in front of us and gives this person we feel close to everything they need for happiness: physical health, adequate material support, close relationships, mental calmness and stability. We freely and generously give it without any clinging or attachment or expectation of anything in return. So get that aligned with the breath, the in-breath, the smoke, the lightning striking the heart, the light coming out and giving happiness with this person we feel close to in front of us. If we feel any aversion to taking on their suffering, we set that aside. We acknowledge that's just self-cherishing. In the same way, if you feel any reluctance to give to them what they need, we set that aside. That's just self-centeredness. And we actually begin to experience the sense of joy as we do this practice. The suffering doesn't build up in us. It's completely dissipated by the lightning. And we don't deplete our own happiness by giving it to others. We actually increase it. And now we can bring another person into the meditation, someone maybe who we don't feel quite as close to, but have fairly kind feelings towards. We may not know their sufferings that well, but we can still visualize that we take them on in the form of dark smoke. And we equally give them back happiness. We give them just as much as we give to the person that we're very close to. We're not differentiating between the two. It's the equanimity. We're breathing in the dark smoke from both of them, giving them back the bright light equally. Now we're going to push the boundaries a little bit. Bring in someone that we have problems with, that we don't really like. So we have 3 people in front of us. One we're close to the left. One we're a little bit neutral towards in the center. And the one we dislike on the right. They're real, life size, actually in front of us. And we breathe in their suffering and we're taking it equally from all 3. There's no gradation of the flow of suffering that comes in. It's coming equally from all 3. And we give back happiness equally to all 3. And we feel a sense of great peace. And you can let your visualization dissolve. Take a moment and do a dedication. Acknowledge that you've done something a little bit out of the ordinary that has, even if to an infinitesimal degree, developed a little bit of bodhicitta in your mind stream. And think what a great thing that is and rejoice in that. And you may relax your concentration. Okay. Any comments or questions on the meditation? Either the technical aspects of it or your reaction to it?
Anyone online would like to say something?
I mean, sometimes we get a very warm feeling. We feel very good about it. Sometimes it's uncomfortable, and that does not mean you're doing it wrong, or you shouldn't do it if you don't want to take on the suffering or you don't want to give back happiness. That's that self-cherishing attitude that we all have to work with coming up, and it's going to come up in different ways at different times and with different people. So you can do it with specific individuals. It's fine to do it with people who are deceased, okay, if you want to work with them. You can do it with yourself, say yourself at a different period of time in your life. You can do it with strangers. You can do it with whole thousands of beings in front of you. You can do it with animals, okay, insects, people in other realms. Got to work with all of it because it's all inclusive. None of those are to be left out eventually. And like I said, something that can be done very quickly on the fly as we go about our daily life. That's one of the great things about this meditation.
Definitely a little harder for that third person that you don't like so much.
Harder in what sort of what? Was it the taking the suffering or giving back the happiness? Yeah.
Yeah, giving back. You don't
mhm.
want to give them too much
Yeah.
to really be happy.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm not going to share it with them. Yeah. I'm going to set up the flues. So 2/3 of it go, or 90% of it goes here and just a little dribble goes over
Little bit,
there.
yeah.
Okay. Any other comments? Okay, so that is our class for yeah. Okay, Mike, yeah. Thank you.
How exactly should we visualize the lightning?
I mean, I don't know any specific descriptions on it. It's just always described as a bolt of lightning, okay? Something that's very bright, very quick, very powerful, also has a lot of force, okay? Comes in and shatters that rock, okay? So like a flash of lightning in the sky. I don't think it's meant to be a comic strip zigzag that comes down, but whatever works for you, really, I think is fine.
Does it come from the lungs or the head?
It comes from the head and goes down, okay? It strikes when the black smoke, and again, it starts off, it's awkward, but you can refine your visualization over the time. Visualize as soon as the black smoke comes in your nostrils, it's transformed into this lightning bolt that goes, okay? I think most people probably felt like your breathing was pretty slow as you were trying to get all this coordinated with it, but you can do it on a fairly normal breath. But the smoke comes in, comes in, okay? Yeah. Any other questions or comments? Yeah, Mark.
So are the nostrils representative of anything particular?
No, I don't think so, or not that I know of. Okay, so I don't know of them representing anything, but there are a lot of meditations, visualizations where things kind of come in and out through the nostrils and change as they do so. I don't know if they represent gates to some sort of consciousness or something. Yeah, but something happens there in a lot of different meditations. Yeah.
I guess that's what I was curious is are they there for certain channels?
Yeah. Well, the energy channels do start at the nostrils and go back to the back of our head and down in front of our spine. So this is obviously based on that model, okay? That when something comes in here, it's making contact with our energy channels and something happens. But I am not qualified to talk about that at all. So I'll shut up. But good point, yeah. Anyone else? Okay, so that's the practice. Like I said, you can find a lot written about it. There's a female monastic, Venerable Pema Chodron, who has written extensively about this, and there's several books that she's written on that if you want to explore Tonglen practice, and it's in lots of the text. So it gets and it's very popular with a lot of different people. Her name's Pema, Pema Chodron, Chodren. And she probably has some stuff online, though I've not looked for it. So that's the end of class number 3. Thank you, everyone. Next week is class 4. We'll talk about the benefits of developing bodhicitta and what a difference it makes. And that'll be our last class. Do you know what the next module is, Lisa?
Yes, transforming problems.
Okay.
You're old.
Yes.
Your old class, right?
Okay, and who's leading it? Okay, Hammond will be leading that. Yes, that's a goodie too. Okay, great. So thank you, everyone, and see you all next week.
Yeah. If anyone's
to the people online.
Right, we have a Tara practice.
Okay.
At 7:00. It'll be online
Yes.
as well. So
We had a wonderful Losar celebration yesterday. Yeah, a huge turnout. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Yeah, for the Tibetan New Year. Yeah. Okay,
all
great.
right. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you,
Have a
Lisa.
good
And
night. See you next time.